Awesome. So I think this is over to you, Liam, for how Cloud Direct manages, like the title says, manages security and governance.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks, mate. So yeah, apologies to people in advance. This is a little bit of a self-indulgence section, so we've avoided this throughout the webinar series, but really this just talks through our approach to managed security and governance through the managed services, Azure managed services that we have. So obviously it's a key part of what we offer as a solution provider, but it also gives you good tips in terms of obviously how we approach things, how you can replicate things, but also how you can engage with us to make sure that you're governed in the right way. So yeah, let's fire away. So in terms of the Azure managed services that we have three key pillars that run through all of our managed services. We have managed technical performance, managed cost optimization, and then the key one that's related to this particular webinar is the managed security and governance. Now, the reason why all three of those are there is that obviously governance is applied across the board. So governance just doesn't necessarily just relate to security. It obviously relates to how you manage your costs within Azure and how you manage your technical performance as well. So just a few basic examples could be, if you've got a test and development environment, that you have some policies and governance in place that says that those workloads are only up and running between working hours, for example, so they're shut down during the evenings or weekends, again, to save you some cost. So that's a cost element to that. And then in terms of performance, how things scale. So for example, if you've got particular applications that the business is very much dependent upon, then you can obviously scale that application from performance perspectives, but again use some governance rules to make sure that scales back so that you don't have one, additional resources that you don't need, that you're not using, and to again maintain that additional cost that you don't necessarily need to do. So those are three key pillars of what we offer throughout our managed services. And then in terms of the actual security and governance itself, there's three key elements that we look to do. We look to strengthen your security posture, and we'll cover some more details around that later. We aim to protect you against threats, and we also provide managed detection and response. So there's two elements to that. In terms of our standard managed services, we use Azure Security Center Standard and Azure Defender to obviously deliver that. So that's through governance policies and various other elements to make sure that you're secure and governed in the way you'd expect. And then also we use Azure Sentinel, which we've covered a lot through the webinar series. That we have a discover, so helping you to discover the benefits of Sentinel in a controlled way with Cloud Direct. We also deploy Sentinel for our customers, but in terms of the managed services, we have a monitoring and alerting service that really feeds into the themes of Sentinel as a solution, as a cloud-based SIEM solution, where really we're looking to help you filter down the masses of data, security data and threat intelligence that Sentinel will produce across your environments, by essentially acting as an escalation sort of filter for you. So we're essentially our 24/7 monitoring in that regard will filter down into reports and dashboards that will give you an idea of what is the most important things that you should be focusing on from a security perspective, but also to be able to give you guidance on where you can automate responses and automate some of your escalation paths to again make sure that you're working in the most streamlined way possible. So moving forward, just looking at the managed security and governance in further details. So in terms of what we offer with regards to this, the right hand side there is our key objectives that we hold closely for our customers. What we want to be able to do is, first and foremost, we want to protect you. We want to protect your environments against threats, and we want to protect your infrastructure, applications and your data. But most importantly, we want you to scale in Azure safely. We want to provide a governance foundation that allows you to spin up new environments when you need to expand your Azure horizons where you need to, and really help you to leverage the most value out of Azure in the most safe and secure way. And the left hand side is really, again, those key pointers of how we do this. So environment protection, this could be sort of antivirus and malware protection. We do security breach recovery as part of this. We'll manage your Azure appliances such as firewalls and load balancers. And we also have a policy of rapid threat detection and remediation. So again, working with you to understand what your escalation paths are, what are the key things that need protecting within your Azure environment, and providing a streamlined process to detecting any threats and remediating them as quickly as possible. From the proactive security monitoring perspective, as I said, we do 24/7 proactive security monitoring, and we will do remediation as well via Azure Security Center. And then the key thing to us is to pass on that best practice to you. So some of you who are existing customers might be aware that we have the mantra of teach, don't sell. What we aim to do is really take you on that journey, and that's essentially what we're doing with this webinar series, is to really inform our customers, inform the people that we engage with, to really help them make the very most out of Azure. So as part of this best practice, you have access to our ARM template library, which is another topic we've covered in previous webinars as part of this series. We do annual security assessments with you, have an input into your technology security roadmap, and also help you to draft up your user access, your change management policies, and the deployment of various security and platform policies via Azure Lighthouse. So those are the key things we do and bring to the table on a proactive basis as part of those managed services. Moving forward to the monitoring tools. So this just gives a brief overview into the monitoring tools that we obviously use. So Azure Monitor and Log Analytics are fundamental to providing those governance policies. Obviously, we've covered this quite extensively. Azure Security Center, again, something that's really crucial to those services to make sure you're leveraging the most out of it, and Azure Defender. And obviously, we could add Sentinel into this section as well. But the one I'm going to focus on is the Provide portal. So this essentially is your window, your 360 window into your Azure environment from a cost, performance, and your governance perspective. So really this helps us and helps you to visualize your governance policies, making sure that these are working first and foremost, but second of all, obviously relating the value of governance to you by showing you your ongoing costs within Azure, your forecasted costs, and the performance of your Azure environment. So you can log into the Provide portal as a Cloud Direct customer, and it will provide you graphical representations of all your cost forecasting, where resources are going, and various spikes and troughs within that. And then moving on finally to managed security and governance. This just talks you through, or takes you through, the key 3 pillars that we have as part of our security and governance. What we want to do as part of any managed engagement is strengthen your security posture of your cloud workloads and reduce that attack service, so making sure it's really as locked down as possible. Protect against threats, so again, really detect and mitigate against any threats on a proactive basis. And then the 24/7 managed threat detection and response of your Azure environment. And I'll speak about this later in the webinar around Sentinel, but the key thing is what we're aiming to do here is reduce your costs, reduce your resources with regards to Azure by helping you to filter the different myriad of data points that you have within your Azure environment. And really this just sort of highlights that we're an extension of your internal team. Obviously, SIEM and SOAR solutions are now becoming a requirement for regulated markets. So whether you're in the financial industry or the legal industry, these solutions, as Sean's already alluded to, are a key part of compliance and a key part of proving compliance to any auditors. So what we do here is really we're looking to protect your investment. We maintain and manage your Sentinel solution to ensure it's working as intended. And then obviously we make sure we put the right information in front of you at the right time to be able to quickly and efficiently remediate any security threats, and also ensure that Sentinel keeps up with the pace of your business needs. So any new workloads or any new elements that you need to incorporate into Sentinel, we'll make you aware of those, and obviously talk about how we can roll those out